Hi everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate UV visible spectroscopy, and this UV visible spectroscopy is used to determine absorbance of chemical compounds for the qualitative and quantitative analysis. This demonstration is classified into three parts. First one, describing the instrumentation of the UV visible spectroscopy. Second thing, measuring the testing sample. Third thing, analyzing the data. Now I'll explain the instrumentation of UV visible spectroscopy. This is a power circuit with which the power is supplied to the UV visible spectroscopy, and here we have a mini display. The external desktop is not attached to the system, so whatever the commands and the operation procedure, everything we'll see in this display. And there we can choose the option which I'll explain later. And this is a mini keypad. Okay, here we have an option like run, stop, and here 0 or baseline, and we use this key for enter. And here the important option we have, that is power option. Okay. And coming to here, we have a reference holder. Here in this reference holder, we have a cuvette for the reference. We place the reference sample in this cuvette and we place it here. In this UV visible spectroscopy, the beam travels in this direction. So we place the transparent side of the cuvette straight to the beam, so that the beam travels through it. And like a reference, we have a holder for sample measurement. And here we have a blue button. Okay, and this blue button, if you press, and this opens the chamber, and this protects from the dirt or any external conditions to the sample holder. And here we have a small knob here, and whenever you are using, be careful, hold one finger like this and press this knob. Okay, now you are seeing that the cuvette is coming upwards. Then hold the cuvette and gently take out from the sample holder. And if you see, I place the cuvette like in this direction. So here in this chamber, okay, the beam is passed in this direction from so we place the cuvette, the transparent side of this is a transparent side, so we are placing the cuvette in this direction such that the beam passes through the cuvette, and the other two sides are opaque. You can see here, this is a opaque side and this is a transparent side. I'm placing the cuvette inside the chamber. This is complete about instrumentation of UV visible spectroscopy. Now I'll explain the measurement of the sample. Before going to measurement, first read the manual careful. In that we have given a systematic procedure of the experiment, how we are going to conduct the experiment, and to run the experiment we require these things. This is now in this process I'm using distilled water as a solvent, and I have weighed the sample and dispersed the sample in the distilled water, and prepared the sample. And in this process we use the cuvettes. One is for the reference and another one for the measurement. And to clean it, we use a tissue roll, and these are the requirements basically required for this experiment. Now I'm explaining the pre-preparation of the experiment. Step 1. Before entering to the analytical lab, you should enter your details in the analytical logbook. Then after coming to the UV visible spectrometer, here we have one more logbook. And in this logbook you should enter date, name, and your ID number, mobile number, and time in and time out. And in the remarks you should enter how many samples you have performed. we switch on the power supply, and after that we switch on this power button. Then we'll see that the LED screen is light up, and after that here in this keyboard we press enter to proceed. It will take some time to start up. After the system switch on, here we can see the thermo icon, and we should double click on it. And if you are not finding the thermo insight icon, then go to start menu, all programs. Here we can see thermo scientific insight, and here we have a same icon, and we double click on it. Here the thermo scientific insight software is opening. Here you can see the insight window, and in this insight window we have several options: fixed, scan, quant and rate. And in this procedure we are using scan option for the blank sample as well as testing sample. This is what pre-preparation step. Now we move on to sample measurement. Now I'll explain the sample measurement. In this sample measurement, first we load the blank sample in both the cuvettes. Here I'm using pipette for filling distilled water into both the cuvettes. Now I filled distilled water in both the cuvettes, and once you fill the distilled water, you always wipe the transparent side so that there is no thumb marks on it. Okay, here you can see I'm holding using this opaque side, and this so that there is no marks on this transparent side. And while you are pouring the distilled water, you always keep it in mind that it should not form any bubbles in it. If this is any bubbles are there, then take out the sample and retake the sample again in the cuvette. Now I'm placing these cuvettes inside the chamber. I'm placing one cuvette like in this direction. And I'm closing this chamber. Then I'm taking one more cuvette. And I'm placing in this way, such that here I'm holding the top of the cuvette, and I'm placed like this. Now I'm closing this chamber as well. Once we place the sample in the sample holder, now we move on to inside window. In the inside window, we press this is the inside window, and here you can see the scan option. Okay, we press the scan option. We selected it. Now you can see the parameters here. Now here we are the starting wavelength we have taken 800, and the end wavelength we have chosen 200. Okay, now go to measure scan, and in this measure scan, here you can see the option called baseline. Here in the both the cuvettes we have filled the distilled water. Okay, and in the sample loader and the reference we loaded the distilled water itself, so that we can remove the noise that created by the solvent. So when we press the baseline, here you can see the system is running. Now in step 4, we click the measure, and the loading guide window will pop up, and in this we can see in the description it is asking that whether the sample is blank. If the sample is a blank sample, then press OK, otherwise press cancel. I press OK. Here you can see the sample is running. There is change in the wavelength. After this run, the confirm sample list window will pop up, and here you can see we can give the number of sample that we are going to perform, and then you can change the description of the sample. Here I am giving AgNO3, and here you can see, and press continue. Okay, after here again we can see the loading guide will pop up, and it is asking that the sample AgNO3 is loaded. Now we take out the distilled water, the blank sample from this, and I'll load the testing sample. Fill the testing sample here, and here you can see the cuvette. Okay, now I'm wiping the transparent side again before I'm placing this in the instrument. I can see that there is no formation of bubble in this, so I can keep this sample inside the instrument. I'm pressing this blue button again. Okay, I'm placing the sample like this gently. Now I'm closing this chamber again. Software. Now we have loaded the testing sample, so press OK. Now it will run, and it will generate the absorption spectra. After 2 minutes, the system generated the absorption spectra of the testing sample. Likewise, we have performed 2 more samples here. Here you can see 1, 2, 3. And once you perform the sample, now go to File, Save Workbook. Here you can see here we are setting the option called Save as Workbook. Okay, now it is asking for the the file where to save. So here we have several workbooks. So now here we give a certain file name to it. I'm giving my name. Okay, and pressing enter. Now the workbook saved in the certain location. So now we save the data, and to export the data we click on reports. And here we highlighted the respective sample data, and here we can see the option called export, and we click this option. Then the select the file export window will pop up, and here we give the file name. I'm giving the file name as AgNO3, and the format which I want is CSV, .csv format, and on the desktop I'm saving this file. Here I select the desktop and save. Once the file is saved in the system, then we take the file in a pen drive, and we analyze the data. Once you export the data, close all workbooks and shut down the system. Shut down, you switch off the power supply. This is how we perform the UV visible spectrometer. Thank you.